Hi, Nancy Olin Weber here again. And I have a very special guest today, and I want to share why. When I began to write a book back in 1995, and it was awful, and I didn't know anything about writing, and oh my God, a copy editor? No, 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 no. This was just for my clients. It was horrible. And if you ever see the old ones, there are other people selling them for astronomical numbers. That's called insanity. Don't touch. They're written awful. Everything about those there's more of, and that what better written. So anyhow, having written two books recently, one during COVID, uh, and then what do? Oh, and editing and getting people and marketing and oh my God. So I joined a publicity and marketing spiritually based company. And in it, the first time was this woman, Kim Sorrelle, author of Love Is. And I looked at her and her shiny light and the ease she approached everything and her jumping in to help anybody. And I went, I call that soul kin, because the beauty of being in a group is, oh, I have an idea for you. I'm going to help you. Oh, what fun. So she's been the spearhead for many things that happen between all the authors. If you look at any of my books on Amazon, you'll see a bunch of reviews for The Life of a Psychic Detective. And that all came from Kim putting it out to all the authors in our group and saying, here are the books, come read and give reviews and let's help each other. So I am blessed with knowing this woman, absolutely blessed. And we were talking before and I said, my line is, generosity is fearless love, and she is the perfect expression of that. And so, Kim, I am totally honored to introduce you to people who you may not know yet, and they may not know you. And I would love you to share with us first, why did you write that book, and what is it about?
Well, thank you, by the way, for everything that you said, Nancy. And you should be looking in a mirror because right back at you, you're incredible and wonderful and in every possible way. So a few years ago, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And 4 months later, my husband was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and he passed away 6 weeks after that. And I questioned a lot of things like life alone, how was I going to do this? It wasn't the dream ended. And one of the things I questioned was love, the true meaning of love. And it seems to be this mystery, right? Like it's defined different ways by different people, Nicholas Sparks and Ed Sheeran or, whatever, whoever. But what is it really? And so I decided I'd dedicate a year to figuring out the true meaning of love.
Tell us about what prompted you to write the book about that experience.
Well, what I did is I used 2,000-year-old poem, love is patient, love is kind, does not envy, does not boast. And I focused on one of those each month. And so when I was doing that, I was journaling, I was writing. And I thought if nobody ever reads what I'm writing it for me. And it didn't have to turn into anything. And I start each chapter with what I think it's going to be. Like, we know what patience is, right? But then I tell the story of what happens in Haiti. Like, I was chased by a motorcycle gang. I got lost on a mile-high mountain, slept outside with tarantulas and snakes. And anyway, some crazy stuff happened that led me to the beliefs that I have about love, the things that I discovered about love. And so I tell the story. And so it became a book kind of on its own in a way.
Did it help you heal by doing that? Help you heal loss and going through breast cancer, help actually the self-healing, the wounds of knowing what can happen?
Yes. I think one thing that is understated, something that I never hear people talk about, is what a healer service is. When you can get outside yourself and serve other people, that is the best healer of grief, I think there is.
I am listening and saying, there is something I don't want everybody to understand how important that is. Absolutely how important that is. There's no doubt about it. The thing I mentioned about you and what resonated with me is we jump in to help. We love that. So I'm asking anybody who watches this, do you jump in to help? Are you that kind of person too? If so, why don't you share it with everybody? Let everybody know how you jump in, because the more of us who say that, the people who are a little hesitant will inch forward and they'll go, oh, I'm not alone with the love to do it, but I'm a little nervous. And that'll help them. So we can make a huge difference in this world. And I'm wondering something else, Kim, when you say that, because every time I hear something where it's so important to get the word out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where is your book? How can we
Well,
get it?
well, it's everywhere. It's in brick and mortar stores. The book is called Love Is. It's a dark blue cover with big white letters, and so it's kind of easy to see, easy to find, and it's on every online bookseller, Amazon, everywhere else. It's on my website. It's wherever, everywhere.
So Kim Sorrelle, in case you don't know, when you see Love Is, it may not be the only thing that says Love Is. So her last name is spelled, you ready, folks? Sorrelle. And Kim is her first name. And I find that there's something else about that I'm wondering if you would be willing to even consider, which is kind of a monthly inspirational portion of it as either, I don't know, deck of cards, the 12 cards, the 12 meanings that people can meditate on, can pray over, can consider a summation in a very easy manner for those, the different levels of people who are. I just see that, that 2,000-year-old approximate poem, psalm, whatever you want to call it, love is kind, love is patient, etc., is universal. I don't care what religion, non-religion, what philosophy, no philosophy, belief systems, no belief systems. This is about being a living being on this earth and how the connection matters. So far, having done all that, I'm going to get into a little other part of that. How easy was it to get it out for you? To get that book everywhere?
Well, it was a little too easy, actually, in the book world, because publishers, unless your name is Kim Kardashian or somebody, publishers have a hard time taking a look at you. And I approached two publishers and they both wanted it. And so they did all the work, as far as the editing and the book cover and all the stuff that goes into it. So it was,
Wonderful.
yeah.
Do you know why? Why did they want to publish it?
Love is what the world needs now.
Thank you.
Need love. Yes.
Thank you. Because it is universal. It's recognizable. It is not only for those who love Paul and the letters of Corinthian message in all other ways. That letter is something that is, no matter what, useful in your life. And to hear some of I've got the book and I read it, and to hear some of the things in it, to read them and kind of visualize it in my mind of what you went through. I'm back and I go, oh, so what I've gone through as a crime victim several times is nothing. Oh my God, I would not want to be where you have gone. And I'm not talking about health or losing your husband, because we all do lose people we love. We all go through, I had cancer many years ago. We go through these things, but your experiences, I have no words for them, folks. I just have no words. I was just gasping a lot in reading it and going, I don't want to even look.
I have a friend who tells me that I am the smartest dumb person she knows. Sometimes I don't always make the best choices.
I don't know about that actually, because that's the whole piece. I wish everybody, would you say that again? Really, because it has, for me, it has a lot to do with everybody hearing it. Please.
About the smartest dumb person.
Because how do you take that?
I take that as I don't always make the best decisions.
Okay.
Best choices.
Anybody resonate with not always making the best decisions? I have two hands up, right? I want you all listening. If you have any doubt about yourself, like, oh my God, look what I did, and I can't get anywhere, and I've never done this. I want you to understand you're talking or listening with two people who have done a lot of good and done a lot of ridiculously stupid things. That's part of life. And if you take that as the power in you, you're going to lose a lot. My dumbest mistakes turned out also to be very useful. Right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, those are the things, those are the times we really learn, right?
So
that we really gain wisdom.
Absolutely. And I'm going to share a little story to prove how dumb I was. Okay. So everybody, when I was a student nurse, we had a clinic at hospitals, and our teacher was looking right over our shoulder at everything we did to make sure we did it. So I had a chart, and I looked at it and I put it down, and I went to get an enema for that patient. And my teacher said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I'm making the enema. It was on the order." She said, "Go look at the chart again." And I looked at the chart, and the man had a cardiac condition, and I read it wrong. And she looked at me, and I looked at her, and I went, "Oh my God, I could have killed him." She said, "Yes." I ran into the bathroom, hysterical, crying my heart out because, oh my God. But I didn't think at that time, I can never do this. I can never do it again. I'm going to quit. No, it became the beacon of light for me. I became a supervisor in nursing at age 20 at the time, the youngest in the history of New York at the time. I ran everything in a hospital. I ran every unit at some point. I was offered all education to the top, to PhDs, free by Health and Hospitals Corporation. They begged me. I said no. All because I made that mistake. I want everybody to understand those mistakes are what we actually, if we embed it correctly, we don't smack ourselves. Love is kind. So if you don't love yourself, as I read in yours so well, that loving yourself is part of the growth. Accepting you make mistakes is part of the growth. It was so beautifully said in her book. And I think that if you did even a little bit of practice with her book, like month to month, and take it personally in what kind of way it suits you. So love is kind is the first one, right? The first month.
Love is patient is the first month. Love is kind is the second month. Yes. Right.
Love is patience. So, and I'm not patient. So of course I thought love is kind would be the first.
Right.
Right. And so when I read, I adapted it to what's comfortable for me to notice about me and my lack of patience. I think I have to practice that chapter again with my husband. I think so.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, Kim. Really beautiful. Are you doing any other writing?
Yes, actually, right now I am working on a book on grief, and I'm co-writing it with a medium.
Oh, how wonderful.
Yeah, I'm very excited about it because grief, somehow we can judge each other's grief, which is never a good idea. You know, love would say, don't ever judge anybody for anything. You know, let people be who they're created to be, and let yourself be who you're created to be. But so we judge each other's grief. There are times that if you don't follow the steps in the right order, you feel like you're failing at grief. And sometimes you need permission to come out of the grief. You know, there's just just some things that I think are valuable things to know about grief that are not out there.
I'm looking forward to reading it.
Thank you.
And when you have it out, of course, you will announce it. And then I will also announce it. I love your writing. It's a beautifully written book. Love is beautiful. And because of your honesty, when you dig deep into grief, because sometimes it does take having gone through it to understand, but also it takes no judgment, as you say, very
Mhm.
much so. I know
Right.
people who are mourning in years and others in days and minutes. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross put it that way about dying process. You can't determine how anybody, they should be peaceful and quiet and die. Yeah, right. Some kick and scream, some are quiet, some go whatever. We're all very different and we need to respect that in each other. And you have done such a good job teaching us.
Thank you so much. You're so kind. You're so sweet. And yeah, I sure learned a lot and have had to really practice, especially love that is patient.
Beautiful.
Because I could get so distracted with somebody that I'm not giving myself fully. And love gives yourself fully in the moment. And so that took me a lot of practice.
I love that. Thank you.
Mhm.
You just clarified for many of us that that's when we're not really loving ourselves either. Not only them, but if we love ourselves fully, accept the good, the not so good, the foolish, the stupid, all of it. If we accept ourselves, then we can accept anybody else.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful. Good reminder. Thank you, Kim. So once
Yeah.
again, Kim Sorrelle, Sorrelle. Love is her book, available everywhere. Beautifully said. Kim, I know that when we are back again in the author group, and then after whatever, I hope we keep seeing each other because you are a great teacher and educator for many. And I learned from you. So thank you.
Well, thank you so much. I think that we will always be connected, and I'm very happy about that.
Yay, yay, yay. Yes, me too. We need a lot of love is in this world. Thank you and bless you for doing that. And I hope all of you enjoy this and go get the book. So that, take care, everybody. Have a blessed day.